Well, I did want to talk about your other channels as well, because you have multiple channels.
Yeah.
Could you kind of tell us a little bit about what those other channels are and why you decided to start those?
Yeah, so I have a lot of channels going, a lot of different balls in the air. Uh Something I found, especially in these last couple years, is that YouTube really likes for a channel to have a very specific offering, a very specific audience that it's focused towards. So Longest Solo Ever, my main channel, is at this point primarily metal guitar covers of music from the video game Friday Night Funkin', which is a very popular rhythm game with the young Newgrounds crowd. It's like kind of a spiritual successor to Dance Dance Revolution and Parappa the Rapper, that kind of that vein of rhythm game. And I started covering songs from it about a year ago. No, actually, maybe only 6 months ago. Geez, it's flying
Time
by.
flies, yeah.
Um, and I that's the point at which I really blew up. I mean, I'd had 20,000 subscribers at that point, and I launched from 20,000 to 150,000 within like a
Wow,
month or two. And it's
incredible.
just been steady growth since then, which is great. So that channel is really strongly niched towards Friday Night Funkin' covers. And any attempts I've made to cover anything else, even music from Deltarune, which is an incredibly popular game, an incredibly like anticipated game that came out this year, those did literally like 1% the views that my Friday Night Funkin' videos would do. Like
Wow.
those would get 10K when my Friday Night Funkin' videos would get 1 to 5 million views, you know? So
Jeez.
it just makes sense to stick to what's working on that channel.
Mhm.
So I needed fulfillment in other areas of my creativity though, and I feel like there's other audiences I could serve, more niches I could expand into. So I started other channels to serve those audiences better and to let YouTube find those audiences better. So in addition to Longest Solo Ever, I have a channel called Dean DiMarzo Music, which is metal covers of pop songs and classic rock songs, and just taking non-video game music and doing the same thing with my style of kind of progressive metal. I also have a channel called 8bitsolo, which, and this is kind of a kind of out of almost by accident. On Longest Solo Ever, I got into this fun little tradition of, for the end of the video, on the end screen where it says, like and subscribe, join my Patreon, whatever. Uh, on that screen, I will play like a little 8-bit version of the song that I just covered. So the same song, but sounds like it's on a Nintendo Entertainment System
Right,
or on a
right.
Sega Genesis or something. And I would make these. They take 5 minutes to make. They're so much fun. It's just a little fun little exercise for me at the end of the
Hmm.
the process. And I put those on there, and I found they really helped with retention of the videos. People would watch the
Hmm.
video and then stick around for that little fun cover at the end. And people were saying, "Hey, you gotta, post these. Can we hear the whole thing?"
Yeah.
And I realized, hey, these are so quick to make. I could so easily make, simple, uh, 10-minute little process videos of these, and just drop them on another channel. So I started 8-bit solo last year. I posted maybe 5 videos on it, and it got 10,000 subscribers right out of the gate.
Wow. That's like
So
that's so many of our like dreams.
yes, I know, and
Yeah.
man, I took it for granted so bad. Like I literally forgot it existed for a few months. It's because it was such a tiny little fun afterthought for my main
Yeah.
channel. And as I ramped up production on the main channel, it kind of fell by the wayside. I am back into it again, doing 3 times weekly updates on that, and that's getting some real growth again. So I'm excited about that. I also have Tales from Rukon, which over lockdown the last couple years, my friends and I got into playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons over Discord, just over the internet.
Nice.
We'd played a couple times before that, getting together at one of our houses and play for a couple hours. But it is, I mean, you know how hard it is to get even a few people together in one place, let
Oh
alone
yeah.
on a regular basis for several hours at once. So the lockdown almost like really forced us to be able to do that. I mean, we were all stuck in our houses. There was nothing to do on a Friday night. And so we all just said, hey, let's play D&D every week. And we'd hop online and play. We
That's
played a
so
full
cool.
year, maybe only missing 1 or 2 weeks, which is like legendary in the
Yeah.
D&D world. That doesn't
That never
happen.
happens. No, I trust
So
me. When I play D&D with my buddies, it's like once. We're lucky if we can play once a month because of our
exactly.
schedules. Like, and then we got to remember, like, okay, where was our
Right. Who
campaign?
was I?
Yeah, yeah. I was a rogue, right? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So it's amazing that we got to play, I mean, this really full campaign over the course of a year, this great story we got to tell with each other. And when when we finished that campaign, we were like, hey, we should stream this. Like, I feel like we're kind of good at this. And everybody involved had a lot of fun with it. So we said, yeah, let's take it online. And thankfully, I already had the large platform of Longest Solo Ever to kind of present it to. There's not a ton of overlap between Friday Night Funkin' and D&D enthusiasts, but we got a good, 300 or 400 subs out of the gate. We get a good 10 to 20 viewers on each stream, concurrent viewers, and maybe 500 or 600 views on each stream afterwards. So it's a nice little start for the first couple months. I'm really happy with that. And then finally, I'm planning an education channel of some kind. I keep kind of falling in and out of exactly what it's going to be, whether it's a guitar lesson channel or more music production focused stuff. I'm still figuring out that, but that is kind of my next big move. What I consider to be like the next big phase of my life. I just quit my job last month to go full time with YouTube, which I'm really thankful to be able to do. And the next big move I think I'm going to make is something in the education space. I've been a teacher for 10 years, teaching guitar and music theory. And I really think bringing that to an online space with courses, with educational YouTube channels, maybe with a membership site of some kind, is really my next big, life move. So I'm still figuring out the details on that, but that's the next step.
No, I think that's a great idea. I before we shift gears on that, I did want to talk a little bit about your channel, because I watched this video and I was blown away with like your production. Most of your videos are fantastic. Well, all your videos are fantastic, but some in particular like blow me away. And the one was on your secondary channel. It was the Dean Music Productions channel where you produce a song. So I watched the song for Dua Lipa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was so cool. No, seriously,
Oh, thank you.
that was one of the coolest videos I've ever watched. So for those of you guys who haven't watched that, basically what it is he recreates the song in his own version, and he covers every single aspect of it. And then in the end, you get to see the final product. And I'm not a music, I'm not super into it, so I did just skip around a little bit. But to see the evolution and the very end, where it got, and the final cover, that was just incredible. I mean, that to me, that there's so much. I'm surprised you don't post as much stuff like that, because that's like my favorite stuff. And I'm sure that it's incredibly challenging, but man, oh, the payoff's incredible. I mean, that seriously, like that cover, you could play at like a store or like a concert, and like no one would tell the difference. I'm not even joking.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so that channel, that's was that Dean Talks Music. That was a channel I was starting when I first kind of realized YouTube really likes to have a specific niche for a channel, and my main channel was in the video game music thing, but I was also trying to post music production tutorials on there, and it wasn't really fitting. So I did split off the channel. I made that other channel, Dean Talks Music, and that is kind of one of the candidates for this education thing I want to do. I'm really torn between making a guitar channel next or that channel. And I'm almost kind of swinging back towards that, as I love playing guitar. I love teaching guitar. I tried shooting a couple videos last week for the guitar channel, and just like, it felt very forced. It didn't come easily. And so I kind of just set that aside for a minute to focus on these other channels. But this morning I actually did a stream on Longest Solo Ever, for music production lessons in the context of making music for Friday Night Funkin', which I figured would be a nice kind of a sneaky way to, trick my fans into learning something. because the whole Friday Night Funkin' modding community is incredible. They are so prolific and just crank out these songs. But you can tell they're all, kids making music for the first time, and they're very lost at times. So I figured as an educator, this was an opportunity. This was something, hey, we've got a music game with an incredibly fervent fan base that wants to make music for it and has no idea how to. I'm a music educator with an incredibly strong fan base in that same niche. Why not serve that? So I'm kind of doing this backdoor experimentation with trying that out, and I might then segue them over to Dean Talks Music as that becomes a more regular production. I think we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I think that that's a really good way to look at it, because you've already established this audience, so you might as well use it for your own benefit in one way or another. So no, I think no matter what you decide, I think you got the right mindset. You know, if you can incorporate what you've already established, I think that's going to save you a lot of time and effort.